Hello Clever Pickles, welcome to today's handwriting video. Today we are going to be looking at the letter S. I hope you like this one because it can get a bit tricky, but that's okay. We'll do it together. Make sure you're holding your pencil properly. Give your hand a bit of a shake. Loosen that wrist up. Make sure you're sitting in your chair properly. Make sure you've got your book right in front of you where it's easy to write and that you can reach everything that you need. Now, when I write the date, it might not be the right date, so you need to check what the date is. I'm going to pretend today is Thursday, so I'm starting with a capital T, and capital comes up to the top, and that was not my neatest T, but that's okay. Shake it off. I'm going to keep going. Thursday. This is you warming up your hand, so do it with me. Write your date. It still has day on the end if you need my help. I'm going to pretend it's the 6th. And numbers are like capitals, they go up to that top dotted line. Thursday, the 6th of February. Remember, check what your date is. Don't copy my date because it's definitely not this date. This date has already passed. And again with 2020 going up into the sky and touching that top dotted line. Okay, so let's start with capital S. Capital means we're going to come up here and touch this top dotted line. S does not go down here into the ground section, so I don't even need this section down here. I'm going to be stopping at this straight line. Now S can be tricky because even if your hand is making a similar movement, sometimes your S's will look different. So let's see how mine come out today. So the trick is to start a little bit below this dotted line. So watch how I do this. I'm going to go up and touch that dotted line. I'm going to come down as if I'm about to do a number 8, but then I'm going to stop before I reach the next line. So imagine that this is an 8 and I'm just not finishing it off. So I'll do that again. I'm going to put my pencil in the gap here. Make sure this is focused. There we go. Put my pencil in the gap, come up and touch the top dotted line, curve down and touch the bottom line and stop in the next gap. That's a little bit different to my other one, but it's still a neat and tidy S, so that's fine. Let's do it again. So let's put our pencil in the gap here in the space, come up and touch the top dotted line, curve around, touch the bottom line, and stop in the gap. Beautiful. We only need to do 3 more. Remember, only 6 letters every time we do this. Up and touch the top, down, touch the bottom, stop in the gap. Now, if I want to rush it, I could do it like that, but then I'm leaving a huge gap here. I'm not touching the bottom, and it's definitely not neat and tidy. So I'm going to put a cross on that because I don't like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 1 more. Up and touch the top, down, touch the bottom, stop in the gap. Okay, now a lowercase s is the same thing except we're doing it just in this space here. It's smaller. So I'm pretending that I'm doing the exact same thing. I just don't have these extra lines to help me. So I'm going to start just below the top line the same way I did here. I'm going to come up and touch my top line, touch my bottom line, and finish there. It may not be the best one. Let's try again. Touch my top line, touch my bottom line, and around. That's a bit better. So imagine I'm just below the line here. Touch the top, touch the bottom, stop. Touch the top, touch the bottom, stop. Now if I rush this one, look at this. I end up coming below, coming above, and I risk it almost looking like a capital when it's not. So I'm going to cross that out, take a breath, rest my hand a little bit, shake it out, touch the top, touch the bottom, curve around. Much better. Okay, if this is the point where you're starting to feel like your hand's a bit sore, that's okay. Take a stretch, take a breather, pause the video, and come back and keep going. So the next one, we're going to write words where S is at the beginning of the word. So let's start with sit. We have S, and then I goes up into the sky with a dot, and T goes up into the sky as well. Song. We have S, O, and N that will be into this grassy area here. And we're going to curve around and come down for the letter G, which will touch this bottom dotted line. And our last one is C. All of these letters stay in the grass. For our next line, we're going to put S and in the middle or the end of the word. So we're going to start with is. Now we know I and S because we just did it above for sit. It's just in a different order this time. Ask. We're going to A, S, K, and K curves around. It's a bit trickier, but that's okay. Our focus is S today. If you do that K and you don't like the way it looks, ignore it because we're worried about the S. And then we have list. Beautiful. And if you've got space over here, that's fine. You don't need to stretch it out because this is room for editing or for marking or comments or feedback. Now for a bit of fun, we're going to draw 6 letter S's, and then I'm going to get a green pencil. I'm making sure there's 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm getting my green pencil and I want to turn these guys into snakes. And I'm just going over the top of this to make a snake, because the next color I'm going to get is red. I wonder if you know what I'm going to do with that red pencil. If I go S, you might know what I'm about to do. I'm going to give it a pointy tongue, a pointy tongue. I'm just making a little V to make the pointy tongue. And there are my snakes for the letter S. Thanks for joining me for that one. I hope you had fun.